swagger is like a subtle one. That NFL Films video of him like this, just casual on them in the middle of the field. Hey, boys, this is the one. Don't know if you know that, but this is the one.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Monday Night Football stream. My name is Rob T Radio. Well, my name is Rob Trigilio, but my social media is Rob T Radio. And here to watch a little Giants and Seahawks here. I've got the Manning cast on, which it'll be the first time this year that I'm watching the Manning cast, so I'm excited for that. But feel free to jump in the chat with your bets. Your fantasies, your fantasies, your fantasy players, your survivor picks, all that kind of stuff. Love to chat with you guys about what it is that's going on in your football life. Let's see. No, that's doing okay. Sorry, I had the power go out at my house not too long ago, literally as I thought I was starting the stream. So just making sure everything's going good, but I think we're set. I think we're good to go here. Okay. So for me, I bet the Giants money line. They were underdogs by like a point and a half. So I just took them to win outright, and took the better odds instead of betting against the spread. I didn't need the point and a half. So we'll see how that works out for me, because this week has been atrocious for me betting wise. Got off to such a good start last week and have not had a good week betting wise. I also built a single game parlay which includes a Kenneth Walker touchdown, Matt Breida for, I think, 40 yards, and Daniel Jones to combine rushing and passing for 245, I think. Just because I had a boost to get rid of, so use that boost on the single game parlay. Yeah, Breida over 40 yards. It'd be awesome if I could. Oh, I hate when you do that. Daniel Jones over 225 combined rushing and passing is what I have. So feel free to jump in the chat. Let me know what you got. I'll also go over all the NFL games of the week and kind of tell you what I thought about at least the results. I haven't gotten to watch, obviously, all of them. But just some quick thoughts on highlights and results that I saw as we do this. 0-0, and I'm at 12:45 in the first quarter. Crazy day in the NFL yesterday in the sense that you can tell by my bets, surprised by a lot of the outcomes. So excited to go down the full list of games and see what it was versus what I thought. Sterling and I do that NFL betting show Sunday mornings, and I saw the board real well the week before. It was 11-3-1, and this week I think I'm 4-7-1, I believe it is. What's that? That's 11, 12 games. Yeah, that's right. 4-7-1. What's up, VGG? I got in trouble for showing the game, so no more putting it on the stream. I had mentioned I would do it until they got me in trouble. So this is just a watch along, just analysis. If you don't have somewhere to watch the game, you can shoot me a DM on one of the social medias and just let me know that you are sending me that, where you're sending me that, and I'll tell you where I watched the game. But I'm on 3rd and 6 with 11 minutes left. And another first down by the Giants. They look good right now. That Seahawks defense is, first drive of the game, you're always trying to get settled in. But, yeah, VGG, send me a DM, and I'll tell you where I'm watching. And if you want to open up a tab for that and open up a tab for us and hang out, I'd love that. Play action from Daniel Jones. So I got him over 225 yards, but combined rushing and passing. I really was looking for a rushing prop for him and couldn't find one, so. Okay. All right, VGG, I sent it back to you, brother. Big set of downs here for the Giants. There he goes, using his legs. See, that's why I wanted a Daniel Jones rushing prop. I feel like he's I think at one point he was an underrated runner. Oh, Adams is hurt again. He just came back from a torn quad. This is his first game back, and he took a knee right to the head, and you can see him stumbling around right now. Gabs, what up? Thanks for jumping in the chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, VGG. Yeah, no worries. I know it doesn't always work out where you can have both screens, so. Bang. Man of his word. with the follow. Yeah, dude, Adams took that knee right to the noggin. You could see him woozy when he got up. You hate to see that. Caustic, what's going on, man? Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you. Big third down here. Third down and 3 is what I got. And they stopped him short. He wants to go. That's my guy, Dabe's right there. I'm all about Dable being aggressive here, too. I love that. So 4th and 1, you got a running quarterback. I'd probably boot this. I know the tush push is all the rage right now, but I'd probably try to boot this and get Daniel Jones on the edge here. Gabs, Caustic, any bets? Any fantasy? Nope, they're going tush push, and they're not going to get it. That play isn't as unstoppable as everybody thinks it is. It's just a mass of humanity. All right, Caustic. Looks like they stopped him short. It's not, that play is not as unstoppable as everybody thinks it is. Yeah, if your offensive line isn't the Eagles' offensive line, it's much less unstoppable. Gabs, why are you hating on the Giants? um, all right, let's go over my god awful bets yesterday. Because I'm one to wear one. We'll start with the Bills and the Dolphins because that was the first game of the day. I was pretty confident that the Bills are going to win. And my boy Sterles was just not there. But I felt like for sure that the Bills had the type of defense that you needed to stop an offense like that. It's veteran, it's good communication, and it's getting home with 4. And even though that 4 sometimes is a simulated pressure where you're bringing somebody and dropping a lineman, the Bills have the ability to get to the quarterback and cause pressure with 4, which means you can drop 7 into coverage and muddy up looks, and that's exactly what they did. They muddied up the looks for Tua. He didn't have his first read, started second-guessing himself, not throwing the ball, took 4 sacks yesterday, had 1 sack all year. So, you know, obviously, I was thrilled with the way the game turned out. I think it really hurt the Dolphins that they got behind. Their run game is really, really good, and I thought it was going to be a key that they stuck with it, and they kind of gave up on it when they went down. I think it was 31-14 at half. So, listen, I thought it was a great game from the Bills. Their offense looks like it's hitting on all cylinders now, which sometimes in past years it's taken a little while for them to get to that spot where they're hitting on all cylinders. Tough for them. They've got to go to London next week and play the Jags, who are already in London, and get to spend the whole week there and not have to travel. So it's a tough go for them, personally, I think. But yeah, man, it was. I was really impressed with the Bills all the way around, and I don't think too much less of the Dolphins, but it's definitely a way to stop them. I don't think that was like unknown. I don't think they put out a blueprint or something like that. That's how you would stop an offense like that, but it's hard to do. And you got to have not only the right players, but also have good enough communication on defense to do that. What a play by that linebacker. Oh, did they blow the whistle? Yeah. Yeah, I never heard a whistle blow. Tell me Kenneth Walker's got a 70-yard touchdown to start this. Oh, my God. People keep saying that the Dolphins had the Bills' number. They played them great last year, even with Skylar Thompson. Yeah, Gabs, that's right. And listen, they did play them great last year with Skylar Thompson. They gave them all they can handle in that playoff game. But that Bills team, I also think, was a shell of itself. I don't know if he was down. That Bills team, I think, was a shell of itself. It had been through so much, not just the DeMar Hamlin thing, but the owner. I don't know if you guys know, but she had a cardiac arrest as well. I don't. Does his elbow touch the ground? But I don't think the elbow hits. The Manning brothers talking about how they think the elbow hits. I don't. Wow, I'm watching this replay. So I've got a parlay that includes Kenneth Walker scoring a touchdown. So I would love for this to be a touchdown. That'd be great for me. Crazy. What a crazy start to the game. So yeah, listen, the Dolphins did give the Bills all they could handle last year. They beat them once in Miami. The game in Buffalo, Buffalo won, but it wasn't quite as handily as they won this game. And then the playoff game was, like I said, it was all Buffalo could handle for sure. So, listen, the Dolphins have a good team. I do not think less of them, but everybody wanting to anoint them as the next winner of the AFC East. I think at least the Bills did some to slow that. I think people are just a little bit tired of the Bills right now because they came in with so much hype last year that, you know, they didn't really live up to the hype that they were supposed to. So I understand people falling off on them a little bit, but they're still a great team, guys. Like the Bills are going to be really, really good. So, all right, let's go through these then. We also have to get on Sterls because he said that the Dolphins were going to win, and he's a Bills fan. So we can't allow that to stand. You know what I mean? Bears and Broncos. What a crazy game. This was the game I did a post-game show for. And I got to tell you, the Broncos looked like absolute booty. I mean, just terrible. And I have really no idea how they got back in that game and won. The Bears should be shocked, disappointed. I don't know. I don't know what to call it because it was just unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Oh, Milkman! I was wondering when I'd see you again. What's going on, buddy? Good to have you back. We just finished talking about the Bills Dolphins game. And I thought about you during the game, Milkman. I thought about you during the game. And you saying that Stephon Diggs isn't a good wide receiver, isn't a top 10 wide receiver. Because 120 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jamal Adams yelling at the independent doctor. Yeah, Jamal Adams probably got told by the independent neurologist that he can't go back in, and he's yelling at him. Giants defense. Nice stop. Couple real nice plays from the Giants D on that series. Milkman, I know I'm disgusted by the Dolphins defense after the Broncos game. I just want to talk about Stephon Diggs, Milk. That's all. Because I was told he was not a top 10 wide receiver, So I'm just checking in. You know what I mean? Want to see if you want to put your list up again. See if it's changed at all. Because since I think 2018 or 2019, he's leads the NFL in a bunch of receiving categories. But whatever. I just want to see how you feel. Oh man, did the Giants fumble this ball? First down, Giants. I love how they announce it while the pile's still going crazy. Like everything you're doing doesn't matter. Dummies. Oh man, what are you doing, 20? Okay, so the first game we talked about was that Bills-Dolphins game, but the second game is that Broncos and Bears game. Let's see, but the AFC East and North are like wild cards right now, ready to be taken over, but still, though, at the end of the day, the Bills will lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs. Okay, doesn't make a ton of sense, but let's see if we can parse this out. So the AFC East and North are wild cards right now, meaning that you don't know who's going to win them. Ready to be taken over. I mean, I understand you saying that about the North because the Bengals are 1-3 in last place, but the Bills are 3-1. So I don't know why you would necessarily call that ready to be taken over. They're 3-time AFC East champs. I'd be interested to hear why you think they're ready to take it over. Gabs, the Ravens have put themselves in a really good position in the NFC North. So that I agree with. I do think that at least 2 wild cards are going to come out of those 2 divisions. You could have 3. I don't know if the Jets are going to have enough to get there. I don't think the Patriots are any good. Dolphins, I think, will end up with a wild card. And then I think the Browns could end up with a wild card. The Bengals could end up with a wild card. I think the Steelers are going to fall apart as the year goes on. But yeah, the Ravens have put themselves in a really good position. If they don't choke against the Colts in a trap game, they're 4-0 right now and looking pretty good. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think the Ravens are in a pretty good spot. And then, Milk, what's the rest that you said here? At the end of the day, the Bills will still lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs. Listen, man, I understand the unwavering faith in Patrick Mahomes. That offense is struggling. They have Andy Reid. They'll probably get it figured out. But through the first 4 games of the year, that Chief offense is struggling. I think the Bills, for the first time, I probably would have said it last year too, but for the first time on paper, I think the Bills are the better team. Here's the extra part of all of that. Patrick Mahomes has never played a road playoff game. Never played a playoff game on. Never worn white while he plays a playoff game. Now, do I think he's veteran enough now that it doesn't matter as much as it did before? That's probably true. But it was why that game getting lost between the Bills and the Bengals last year was such a huge deal. What the Bills were going for all season last year was to have the number 1 seed, and if they got to play them, get to play them in Buffalo. So we'll see. If they win the AFC this year and that game happens in Buffalo rather than in Kansas City, it's different, man. It's different. There's a reason that you get 2.5 points for home field advantage in Vegas. So, oh no. Oh, Daniel Jones might have just died. He could have hit him so much harder too. Let's see. Bills' schedule is tough at the end because they play the Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys back-to-back weeks. That's a tough offense and defense that if Allen doesn't throw picks, they 100% lose those games. You're kind of spinning around in circles a little bit, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, the back half of their schedule is tough. There's no doubt about it. And they already dropped a game that they weren't supposed to lose, and so there goes your leeway, right? There goes your room for error was that Jets game, and you used it literally the first week of the season against a team that didn't have their quarterback. So stupid. But you lost focus, and you lost the game that you weren't supposed to lose. Yeah, back half of their schedule is tough. But the Bills do a good job of every year of they do get better as the year goes on. They solidify themselves, what they want their team to look like, what their identity is. They do a good job of that. And in the back half of years, they have been really, really strong under Sean McDermott. So if they're going to have a tough portion of the schedule, that's when I want it to be. They're also in a tough portion of the schedule right now. They have to fly to London to play Jacksonville. Then they come back and they got a Sunday night game against the Giants. So, yeah, you know. And then there goes the playoffs and division in the AFC. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with you. So I think they are easily the favorite in the AFC East, especially after their win yesterday. And there goes the playoffs in the AFC, Milk. You don't even think they're going to make the playoffs now? I know you're a troll, man. I know you love to be a hater and love to try to get people riled up. You're not going to rile me up. I'm just going to say that I think you don't know what you're talking about. Exactly. They play the Jags next game, and they're riding hot right now. The Jags beat the Falcons. So the biggest advantage that the Jags have is that they don't have to travel to London. They're just in London, and the Bills have to travel over there. And yeah, the Jags might jump up and get them. Totally possible. But I don't think that would mean that they don't make the the Bills don't make the playoffs. And as far as the division goes, I think the Dolphins are certainly worthy. I think they could take the division. I don't think the Jets are good enough to get there without Aaron Rodgers. We'll see if they make a move for a quarterback. Garrett Wilson. Zach Wilson played better last night. But I don't think the Jets are good enough to take the division from the Bills. And we'll see about the Dolphins. But they already lost the head-to-head, so you've got the tiebreaker, and at worst, that head-to-head tiebreaker is a split for the Bills now if they don't own it outright. Reese Cups, my guy, coming in with a subscribe. What's up, buddy? Appreciate you jumping in. Appreciate you hitting the subscribe. Welcome to the Rob Mob. As if you didn't know already. All right, so I'm at 5:17 in the first quarter of this Monday Night Football game with the Seahawks first down and 10. We got a little sidetracked talking about the Bills, but we were talking about the Bears and Broncos game. And man, I got to tell you, the Broncos just looked awful. I really have no idea how they came back and won that game. A bunch of things had to transpire for that to happen, including a fumble that was returned for a touchdown. But Justin Fields, they made him look like a god. Like, it was crazy. Deep shot by Seattle. You're going to get a pass interference call on it. Which he was looking back for the ball, but, dude, you're all over him. Cornerback is complaining that he made a play on the ball, but you still can't tackle the guy. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, which him coming back is a pipe dream at best. I mean, we're coming back from a torn Achilles inside the same season would be absolutely crazy. Do I think he's the kind of guy that would try to do something like that? I do. But there's no way he gets back in time for them to win enough games to win the AFC East. It just doesn't happen like that. There's no way. Yeah, dude, you were all over him. That's pass interference for sure. Gabs, giving up 28 points to Justin Fields is worse than the 70. Yeah, I 100% agree. And when it was 28-7, I was on the Twitter machine just talking about this is embarrassing if you're a Bronco fan. Now, I guess I also then have to give them credit for shutting it down in the second half. And I mentioned on the postgame show, give them credit for fighting, because a week after you give up 70 and then you give up 28 to Justin Fields, would have been real easy to fold tents and go home. You know what I mean? Would have been real easy to quit. But they didn't. They came out and they fought, dude. They really did. Russell Wilson had a decent day. I don't think Russell Wilson is the problem. You know what I mean? I just also don't think he's the solution. All right, 1st and 10. It must not have been pass interference. It must have been a defensive holding or illegal contact. This is what I expected to see more of from the Seahawks, though, which is running Kenneth Walker. What is Peyton Manning doing? He's got it's a Seahawk helmet on? Milkman. I remember now y'all have Miller coming back. Damn, maybe you're right. They might win the AFC East. Yeah. Probably not that. Maybe this week for Von Miller, but I would be shocked if they bring him back to put him on a plane to go to London and then put him on a plane to come back from London. I'd be shocked if they bring him back then. Listen, I don't want to say that they don't need him because he's incredible, but they've been able to get pressure without him. And so I think you bring him back Sunday Night Football against the Giants in a couple weeks. And I think they'll be slow with him practicing, letting him kind of get back in the flow of things. So it might not even be that game that they bring him back. Because when you bring him back, you don't bring him back for the regular season. You know what I mean? You bring him back for that Chiefs game that you're talking about, Milkman. So, let's see. Gabs. Jets can't make a move at quarterback because they need to leave a spot free for Rodgers. Makes no sense getting a Kirk Cousins kind of guy. Guys, you really believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to be back this year? Gabs, Milkman. I need you to put in the chat, I think Aaron Rodgers will make it back this year. Because that, to me, would be crazy. I also think I might even go as far as to say that it's a little bit reckless. But, I mean, yes, Milkman, you think he comes back because it's Aaron Rodgers. What do you think, he's Superman? Tyler Lockett with all kinds of speed. Listen, due respect to Aaron Rodgers. He's great. But that doesn't make him some kind of Wolverine. This is a 9-month injury most of the time that you guys are talking about. And you think he's going to be back in 3? I don't know. It seems like kind of a stretch for me. Will Ferrell on the Manning cast right now. I wonder what ties he has to either of these. Gabs. Don't matter if he's getting back or not. The Jets' strategy going forward is to expect him to be back. Yeah, I agree with you for next year to expect him to be back. But Kirk Cousins' contract is expiring. That's why people are throwing his name out there. So if they were to get Kirk Cousins, it would be just for this year. Now, I think it's very hard to get a quarterback who doesn't know the system to come in and play. So I agree with you that I don't think that they're going to make a move there. I think they're probably better off sticking with Zach Wilson. And that's why I feel like they're not a threat to win the AFC East. But, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers comes back inside this year and somehow affects a playoff run, I will be shocked. They're 1-3 right now. Well, I see him like wearing a lot of tape to help him play. Man, I mean, it's not even about his mobility, because that is part of it. Like, it's dangerous if he can't protect himself by moving around. There are 300-pound NFL defensive linemen trying to kill him. So if he can't move around, it's a problem. So even if you've got all the kinesiology tape, all that kind of stuff, it's still super dangerous. And it's not even about if that will help him or not. To me, what it's about is the danger of injuring it a second time because he rushed back. That's what I'm concerned about. Oh, yeah, I forgot Will Ferrell was good friends with Pete Carroll when he was at USC, so... Yeah, Gabs, I know Cam Akers is your example for somebody who could come back that quick. Yeah. But when we started this conversation, it was he would be back in time to help them win the AFC East. You know what I mean? Like, he might be able to come back and play in the playoffs, but I don't think he gets back in time to help them win games to win the AFC East. I think that's a two-horse race right now with the Dolphins and the Bills. All right, Giants get another stop. Let's see. Oh, it's a different returner now, of course, after that nightmare. I understand what you're saying, but if the Jets trade for Kirk, what can they give up? Trash Wilson? I mean, I have to look at logical reason. Oh, I mean, if the Jets are trading for Kirk Cousins, they're sending him a first-round pick. 100%. So no, they're not. I mean, maybe if the Vikings are interested in Zach Wilson, then fine. But the only reason the Vikings would do that is because they believe, one, their season is over, which it's not yet, and two, that they can get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft if they trade him away. But I really don't think that scenario is likely, to be honest with you. Like I said, it's so hard for a quarterback to pick up a scheme in the middle of a season. What Baker Mayfield did last year in LA was crazy. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, Lions look dangerous in the north. The Packers look like they'll be hovering around that wild card area. So I don't think there's... But I also don't think that the Vikings are out of it. You know what I mean? They're 1-3. You're not that far away. Yeah. So, and then to wrap up on Bears Broncos, I did that post game show yesterday, and I literally asked people, "Were you excited when the Broncos won? Like, did you jump up and cheer when they won that game?" Because I feel like a lot of people, man, were more upset that they aren't putting themselves in a position to draft a great player than excited that they actually won a game. Which, you know, the everlasting tank debate is always one that's a little bit crazy. But I just can't believe they came back to win that game. Browns and Ravens. DTR looks so much better in the preseason than he did yesterday. I really thought that was going to be a fun game. Ravens are notorious for letting teams hang around in situations like that. Garner Minshew and the Colts. You know what I mean? They kind of, I hate to say, played down to their competition, and they just didn't yesterday. So, I mean, really, that game is just a case of DTR not being great. But I think the Ravens are a good team. I think they're probably the favorites to win the North right now. But just like always, I feel like the North is just going to be a knockdown, drag out all season long. All right, Giants on first down, pick up 10, 15 yards. And the Giants have moved the ball on offense. I'm curious how many yards the Giants have, because they have been moving the ball up and down the field, and they have just not been able to convert it into points so far. Okay, so Bengals is next. 1st and 10 from the 25. Oh, you're going to get killed. Oh, my God, you're going to get killed. Fumble, scoop. Does he get the score portion of it? Down to the 7-yard line. Daniel Jones, you got to feel that when you've got so many people around you, you got to know that pressure behind you. You got to protect that football, man. I mean, that's just a real poor job. So you had the free rusher coming off the edge, and you escape. But then when you escape, you got to know that other guys are going to be right around you. Yeah, Manning's saying the same thing right now. You got to have two. As soon as you escape, you got to have two hands on that ball. So Seattle on the 7. And that'd be a great time for my Kenneth Walker touchdown. Milkman, what if the Jets try to trade for Trey in Dallas? They send Zach and maybe a 3rd or 7th round pick for him. Sounds interesting. Yeah, there's a couple of interesting candidates. Jameis Winston is another name that people have thrown out. People have said, do they call Ryan Fitzpatrick? Which would be hilarious. But, I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick's not that old, and he's played for the Jets before. So, yeah, I think one of those is more likely than somebody like Kirk Cousins. Did he catch it? He sure did. Touchdown DK Metcalf. Right at the end of the quarter too. Let's see. Gabs, I understand that he's basically Zach Wilson with less reps. I understand you feeling that way. Here's what I'll say. With Trey Lance, you can at least run him. Right? You can try to create a running offense based around his athletic ability and hope that he can make some throws when the field gets easier to read because they're worried about him running the ball. I know Wilson played better last night, but I don't think your offense can get worse than what it's been with Zach Wilson. So Trey Lance, it's not going to get worse, right? If you want to try it, try it. Now, the thing is, I don't think Trey Lance has ever been considered a real heady quarterback. So trying to pick up a new offense for somebody like him, I feel like is asking a lot, you know? All right, we are going to run some commercials here alongside of them now that the Seahawks have scored. We'll be back in a couple minutes here. All right, welcome back. Caustic, sorry that I went to commercial the instant that you came back. Yeah, just been talking about the Jets, and I don't even know how we got there because that wasn't the game on the list. The game on the list now is Bengals and Titans. Titans are just so frustrating to me, man. I have no idea what the Titans really are. I feel like that team is trash. And every year, Mike Vrabel somehow has them winning games and in a playoff hunt. And I think with as bad, as shockingly bad as the Bengals have been, that the bigger story is that the Titans somehow are at 500. I have no idea. No idea how they do that. What is happening here with the Manning cast? What is this technology that they have? It's kind of crazy. It's like it's like a magnetic. It's like those old, the boards that would vibrate and the players would move because the board was vibrating. That's what it looks like, but it's virtual reality, if you will. The Bengals, man. At some point, you got to rest Joe Burrow. Like, he's not right, and that offensive line is not good enough to keep him clean. And if the offensive line isn't good enough to keep him clean, you gotta make sure he's 100%. They rushed him back. I don't think he was ready. Milkman, yeah, there's a couple older quarterbacks out there that would be able to come in. I just don't know how much better than they'd be than Zach Wilson. You've mentioned Colin Kaepernick. I mean, he's pretty old now. And hasn't played in the NFL in 6 or 7 years. And even though I did feel like he got blacklisted a little bit, it would be tough to come back after a layoff like that. Cam Newton has been in the league more recently, but when he has been in the league has not been great. So having a quarterback who might be a little bit better than Zach Wilson, but doesn't know the system, does that help you at all? As opposed to a quarterback who's worse but knows the system, knows what he's doing. As far as the Bengals and the Titans, I really think the Bengals, you have to, I think, make peace with the fact that you might be better off. Your team might be better off with the backup quarterback in there than Joe Burrow. And that's going to be a tough thing to convince yourself of and your fans of and Joe Burrow of, but I think this might be the time to do it. 3 points again. 3 points you put up. You just can't have it, especially with a defense that's as good as that Bengals defense has been. Is that a no-look pass from Daniel Jones? All right, I'm at 1st and 10 with 13 minutes and 10 seconds left, and they just ran it for like 6, so you know where I'm at. I think I'm going to switch off of the Manning cast. It's driving me crazy a little bit here. Breida tackled for a loss of like 7 or 8, which hurts my bet that I have. But as you do. Oh, all right. So this one is a little bit further ahead. They're already at 4th down on this set of downs. So Giants are punting. I must have been real behind with the Manning cast. Burrow doesn't have the arm to make up for the lower body being hurt. That calf is affecting his mechanics a lot. I think you're right, Cabs. He does have a strong arm, but he doesn't have like an Allen or Mahomes or Herbert arm. And so if he can't use the bottom half of his body to create torque and really drive balls in there, yeah, I think it does affect his mechanics. But here's the other thing. The escapability is a huge problem. The offensive line cannot protect him. And so if he can't get away, and he's not known as a runner, but I just mean getting out of the pocket, getting out of trouble, and buying an extra second for his wide receivers to get open. If he can't do that, he's really in trouble. And I think it affects their offense. So I understand that they've got a bunch of no-names at quarterback behind him, but it's a situation where I think he might be better off starting one of those guys than starting Burrow. You guys think I'm wrong? Because I feel like that's fairly obvious to see right now. And the hardest part of that is going to be convincing Burrow that you're better off that way with him resting and getting healthy. All right, what's the next game on our list here? Colts and Rams. Heck of a job by the Colts to come back in that game. When I saw them down by a bunch, I thought that one was going to be fold up the tents. Milkman says bring back Dalton and save Burrow for the season until the playoffs. I mean, you don't have to wait that long. It's just a calf strain. But if you could give him 3 or 4 weeks, that would be ideal. I don't know when their bye is, but you'd probably want to do it somewhere around there. Andy Dalton is playing for the Carolina Panthers, and he actually started a game for him because Bryce Young had an ankle injury. So if they want Dalton, they'd have to make a trade for him. Colts and Rams, man, Sean McVay deserves a lot of credit. That team is super young on both sides of the ball. They were here in Denver for training camp preseason practices, and looking at their roster, I hardly knew anybody on it. Granted, like Puka Nacua has made a name for himself, but it's just a bunch of really young guys and Matt Stafford and Aaron Donald. Like that's it. You have one super old vet on both sides of the ball, and everybody else is super young. So I think they deserve a lot of credit. You're going to have moments like you had yesterday where the Colts come all the way back because you've got such a young team. But keeping your poise when a team does that and finding a way to still get the win, I think it says a lot. But Anthony Richardson looks like he can play a little bit. I can't wait to actually watch that game and see if it just feels like that watching from the outside, or if when you watch the game it feels like Anthony Richardson can play, but it feels like he can play a little bit. Colts just had too many injuries. Buckner played only 20 snaps. Left tackle got hurt. We had to play a rookie against Aaron Donald. Yeah. No, listen, I think the Colts deserve credit. Gabs, do you feel like Anthony Richardson's a solution there when it comes to quarterback? Because from the outside, it seemed like might have your guy here, but you never know. 100%. Yeah, I mean, listen, C.J. Stroud has looked great, and we'll talk about the Texans coming up. But it's felt like Anthony. Now, listen, Gardner Minshew went in and played very well. I think Gardner Minshew is a good backup quarterback. So it kind of speaks to the fact that team has a better roster maybe than a lot of people think. But that's not a bad thing. You know, I'm just saying that that helps a young quarterback when you've got a decent roster, and it seems like Anthony Richardson might be a guy, might be the dude. All right, so I am 1st and 20 with 10:44 left in the second on this Monday Night Football game. 6 drops, really? Well, see, there you go. Yeah, that's where I feel like they're lacking most. I'm not a big Michael Pittman fan. You lose Jonathan Taylor. I just don't think their weapons are all that good, but that's probably where I think the roster is the worst. But, you do what you did with Joe Burrow is you go get Jamar Chase. Like go get Anthony Richardson a guy next year, you know what I mean? All day in the pocket for Geno Smith. Gets batted right back at him. He should have knocked that down. Did he hurt his knee? It looked like Geno Smith hurt his knee. So that ball gets swatted right back at Geno Smith. Dude, just knock it down. Like, take the incomplete pass. They're not showing Geno. I guess he's all right. Oh, no. Here he comes limping off the field. So do they call an injury timeout for him? Which means Drew Lock. Oh, my God, Broncos fans. Yeah, I think they stopped the clock for him, so I think he's got to come out, right? Man, he is talking a bunch of junk. Geno Smith walking off the field screaming at Giants defenders. I mean, he's on the field now, trying to stir it up. I don't know if cooler heads prevail though. Like everybody looks pretty heated still. That was not a penalty. I don't know what they're fighting about, and I'm shocked that they're letting Geno stay in. They called an injury timeout for him. Oh, almost a pick six. Oh, wow. Milkman, Rob, realistically, if the Cowboys lose to the Niners next week, but beat the Eagles twice, do you think we'll win the NFC conference? Those are kind of the three big boys, right? So, you know, I think it all comes down to what does Brock Purdy turn into? Does he turn into a pumpkin, right? Or does he keep getting better as the year goes on, as Kyle Shanahan has showed he's very good at doing with quarterbacks? Does he just keep getting better and keep getting better and keep getting better? Listen, man, that team is really scary because, and I've said it on the stream before, when you don't have a $50 million quarterback contract hanging over your head, you can spend money a lot of places and build a really good roster. So, I don't think even if the Cowboys beat the Eagles twice, that the Cowboys would be the favorite to win the NFC. I think it's the Niners first and foremost. I also know that you can hate the Eagles all you want, but beating them twice is going to be quite the feat if you guys really think you can do that. The Cardinals exposed something that I think is a weakness of all great pass rushers. Run right at them. And they ran right at Micah Parsons a couple weeks ago, and it did not look good. So if you get that Eagles offensive line, which is terrific, like arguably the best offensive line in football, Cowboys up there too. But if you get that Eagles offensive line running the ball directly at Micah Parsons, I think it's going to be a tall task for the Cowboys to beat the Eagles twice. I could buy a split, but yeah, Gabs, I turned off the Manning cast. I love when they're talking ball. I really do. Like, I love listening to what goes through those quarterbacks' heads as they're watching the game, because it's what goes through my head, I think, some of it. But when they have a guest on, if the guest isn't a football guest especially, I turned it off. It wasn't for me. So, yeah, that's my thought on that. So yeah, I think the Bengals need to take their medicine and sit Joe Burrow for a little bit. And I just want to say that the Titans are garbage. I really do, but you can't. They're just there every year somehow. And you can hear how angry I am about that. Bucks get a win down in New Orleans. That Bucks team is going to win that division and get a home playoff game. They are good, man. They are good. Baker Mayfield is better than people give him credit for. I don't think he's first overall pick worthy, but he's a good quarterback in the league. I feel like he got the short end of the stick in Cleveland, was playing hurt. Hello, Joe Burrow. Was playing hurt and wasn't himself, and they got rid of him for it. Don't think he ever had a real shot in Carolina. Bounced over to the Rams and was a gamer, but now that he had a whole off season with the Bucks, and I think he's a good NFL starting quarterback, and that's not the kind of credit that he gets. You know what I mean? That defense still has several pieces on it that won the Super Bowl. Their offensive line is beat up, but still decent, and they have incredible weapons, great wide receivers, good running back. So I really think that Bucks team is going to be the team to beat in the NFC South this year. I think they're going to win that division, and I think they're going to make it to a home playoff game. I don't think they're elite by any stretch of the imagination, but fortunately for the NFC, the AFC South plays the NFC South this year. So I think that's just a super weak crossover matchup, and that you can win 9 or 10 games and win that division, get a home playoff game if you're the Bucks. For the Saints, I just don't. I don't believe in them. I don't believe in Derek Carr. Defense is really good, but I don't believe in Derek Carr. They've scored like 15 points a game or something like that. Dennis Allen, I just do not think is a good head coach, which I feel like is mean to say, but he seems like a nice guy. But I just don't think he's a very good head coach, Let's see, Milkman. Really, that Cowboy defense put up 40. Okay, Cowboy defense didn't put up 40 the first week and 30 the last week. Also, the Eagles got exposed last game, too. Well, listen, all the NFC East games are going to be tough. I don't know that they got exposed. But if you want to say that about them, that's fine. Cowboys defense did not put up 40 the first week. Cowboys offense did. The Cowboys defense did pitch a shutout the first week, but it was I don't think the Giants are in the same class as the Eagles when it comes to offensive football. Plain and simple. The Eagles have incredible weapons on offense. They have maybe the best offensive line in the NFL. And, Jalen Hurts, I think because of all of that, he looks a little bit better than he really is. But a good starting quarterback in the NFL. He's in the MVP race last year, So I think he's a very good quarterback. I don't think he's on the same level as like Allen and Mahomes. Definitely not Mahomes. But I think he's right below those guys. And like I said, Cowboy's gonna cowboy at some point, right? I think it's another thing is I think it's really tough they lost Trayvon Diggs. Having that corner is you got to have a dude. And Trayvon Diggs he was that year he got all those interceptions. There was a little bit of luck involved in that. It wasn't like he was a shutdown corner, but he has continued to develop and developed into a very, very good cornerback. And I think that loss really hurts the Cowboys defense. So, all right, I'm 1st and 10 on the 44 with 6:45 left. Oof, what a hit. Witherspoon coming in and sticking his head in there. Gabs, Trey White out for the season. What do you think of that? Brutal. Real tough. He is a great cornerback. But that being said, the Bills' scheme lends itself to not having great corners. It's a very corner-friendly scheme. A lot of zone. It helps to have a great cornerback, especially a very smart one like Trey White is, because they can take chances, and if you know when you can take the chance, you can start to read tendencies and stuff like that, and then jump in and make some really big plays. But that compared to the Cowboys losing Trayvon Diggs and that defense, I don't think that defense is as corner friendly. So I feel like Trayvon Diggs is a bigger loss than Trey White only because of the styles that they run. But yeah, losing Trey White's tough for sure. And feel for him because he's not only like he seems like a very nice guy, but he's loved amongst his teammates, and he just came back from an ACL last year. They waited until the middle of the season to activate him like they're doing with Von Miller, but just got back last year, and 4 games in, a whole nother year shot. So, the Giants lost 20 yards on that freaking play. Unbelievable. 2nd and what? 24? 25? What a play by Witherspoon. Couple big plays from him. Oh, it's only 2nd and 18. I thought it was going to be more than that. I also thought he got tackled on the 50, not the 47. Milkman. Well, yeah, because when they can play rugby instead of football on 4th and 1 isn't really that amazing. Well, one, if you're watching this game, saw, stop it. Because you can stop that play. The reason people can't stop that play is because the Eagles' offensive line is good. So that's 1. 2, it's not rugby. It's football. It's a legal play in football. So, I don't know. Be mad, bro. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I don't care. 3, again, I know you're just trolling. That offensive line is great. They have made a ton of running backs look really good. DeAndre Swift has looked, in 2 games, he had like 300 yards rushing. Maybe even more, 350. Between the Vikings game and the Bucks game. So, be a hater as much as you want, but I just, that offensive line is fantastic. Long field goal attempt here, 55 for Graham Gano. He's an old man. Can he make that? Sure can. 7-3, Giants coming back. Dude, Witherspoon had a real nice series there. That was awesome. All right, what's our next game to talk about here? Oh, look who it is. Eagles. Yeah, man. Listen, I think Sam Howell has a little bit of dog in him. I don't know if he's a great quarterback, but he's I'm starting to like him a little bit. He how about just nails? You got 4 seconds left, 3 seconds left? How much time was left on the clock when he throws that touchdown to tie the game? Awesome. I think that Commanders team is better than people give them credit for. I think the Eagles are a really good team still. And I think the Eagles just didn't have their best. But I've got to go back and watch that game. That's one that I only saw highlights of, so I haven't really watched how that all went down. But you're going to have that. If you are if you're a great, I mean, listen, it happened to the Bills the first week of the season. If you're a great team, there's going to be times that you just don't have your best. And when you're a great team, you take the best shot from everybody. Eagles win the Super Bowl last year. So they're going to take everybody's best shot, including inside the division. All that being said, they found a way to win. And that's what the really great teams do. That's why I was angry about the Bills. You did not have your best game week 1, and guess what? You lost it. You couldn't find a way to pull that game out of the fire after you messed it up. So here you are. So yeah, it doesn't bother me that the Eagles didn't win that game. I love all the people who are triggered by them not them running the tush push. It's literally like the oldest play in football. Like that's what football was back in the day. Drew Lock going in. Oh my God. Broncos Twitter has to be flipping out right now. I really hope Drew Lock does well here. Which people are going to hate. But I really want this to be a Drew Lock moment. I am at 3:05 in the second right now, 1st and 10 for the Seahawks. Oh, you got to catch that ball for him. Drew Lock with a laser to start it off. Had to go back to the Manning cast because my other stream pooped out. I'll get to those comments in a minute, man. I'm just watching. Drew Lock takes off. Picks up a first down. Atta kid. Okay, that line is good, but if one of them gets injured, then makes it easier for pass rushers to make it hurt. It to hurts. Yeah, I mean, that's always true. You're saying if they get injured on the tush push? Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a little bit of danger in that, but you know, those offensive linemen, that's what they do literally every play. When I do my radio show, one of the guys I do it with is an ex-NFL offensive lineman. His name's Tyler Columbus. Played with the Seahawks. Played with the Broncos. Won Super Bowl 50 with the Broncos. And I asked him, I'm like, dude, honestly, like people describe it as a car crash every single play if you're an offensive lineman. Is that what it feels like? And he's like, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, offensive linemen are always in danger of getting hurt. And if they do, yeah, you're going to have to find ways to protect Jalen Hurts, but it's still one of the best lines in football. Then you say, plus they play the Rams next and have to block Donald. Is going to be a pain for them, not to mention Kupp comes back too. I'm not sure Kupp is going to come back. Did you see somewhere that he's definitely going to play next week? Because I haven't seen that yet. But yeah, dude, Aaron Donald's always a beast. And there's a guy like that on every defensive line. That defensive line for the Commanders is fantastic. They got first overall, yes, and first round picks all up and down that line. That defensive line for the Commanders is so freaking good. So, is what it is. If the Rams beat the Eagles next week, I would be very impressed with the Rams. What is going wrong with this stream right now? It's a total disaster. All right. Milkman, they say that he's practicing with the team this week, so maybe, I don't know for real. Yeah, I think they're going to take it real slow with him, especially because they've already gotten a couple wins, and I didn't expect them to do that, to be honest with you. So we'll see. I think them being at 2-2, they probably are slow with him and are thinking to themselves, we're not going to catch the Niners and win the division, so we're going for a wild card spot anyway. So let's take time and make sure Kupp gets all the way back healthy. All right. Stafford got hurt hip injury. That's interesting. I hadn't seen that. How bad was it, Gabs? By the way, thanks everybody who is dropping in and watching Monday Night Football with us as we just kind of talk NFL football all the way around. Feel free to drop a like, subscribe, follow. Appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out. Love to hear what you have to say both about this game and the NFL in general. So if you have thoughts, feel free to share. Gabs, he was limping all second half. Injury during the second half. Here's the latest on what we know. All right, Drew Lock's driving the Seahawks now at the 47. Not a good throw, though. I can't find an update on his injury. They might not have provided one yet, but... Matthew Stafford dealing with hip injury, says he'll play next week. Oh, Pro Football Talk, so they stole it from somebody. Yeah, I just saw that too, Milkman. Oh. Though he didn't miss a snap. That's interesting. Quote from Stafford. Oh, you don't have to worry about that, Stafford said. I'll be out there. Interesting. Well, it sounds like he'll give it a go no matter what. All right, 3rd and 10 for Drew Lock on my screen here. Excellent read, excellent pickup. Oh my God, the Bronco connection. Does he get in the end zone? Touchdown. Oh my God. Oh, the former Bronco. It's the Russell Wilson touchdown. Just short. All right, looks like he's still in there. Sure, because then you can review it if you rule it as a touchdown. Down at the 1. Drew Lock playing better than Daniel Jones. Oh, stop. You're going to trigger Broncos fans. Don't do it, Gabs. Don't do it. Hey, now would be a great time for that Kenneth Walker touchdown. Have I mentioned that? Hey! That's one leg of the parlay. It's getting chippy between Seahawks and Giants. I mean, it's not even like it's a AFC or a NFC East matchup or something like that. Are the Seahawks good? I just really don't know still yet. Offsetting penalties? Interesting. Okay. All right, so Seahawks in the end zone, looking to make it 14-3 now. They do have really good wide receivers, Milkman, and they don't use them. It's the most frustrating thing I could ever have told you about. When they drafted Jackson Smith and Jigba, I was like, oh, great, another fantastic wide receiver that you're going to have that is not going to get the ball thrown to him ever. Super. All right, 14-3. They're going to hit a commercial break, and I am going to take it with them real quick. Okay, we're back. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in, watching along. Like, subscribe, follow. Drew Lock, 2 for 5 for 63 yards. Absolute boss. It's a hell of a stat line. Breida has been super disappointing today. I thought he was going to have a decent game. Whoa, that was ugly. Hey, Gabs, remember when you said that Drew Lock was playing better than Daniel Jones? Dave's pissed. Honestly, a great defensive play by the wide receiver there. Yeah, you're right, is what I was saying, Gabs. You nailed it. What a give up by the fans are booing. Hand off to Breida on 3rd and 10. Dave's pissed. I said this the other week when I did a Giants watch along. Daniel Jones looked like he's always just trying to solve the hardest math problem on the planet. Giants offense is impossible to watch. Dude, the Giants offense is fun when they run it right. I mean, you know I'm a big Dable fan. I think Dable is hesitant to burn Kafka, who's the offensive coordinator, and say that he's taken over the play calling. But every time that Giants offense has gone good, it's been because he's taken over the play calling. What is happening right now? Oh, yeah, Troy Aikman, because you and nobody else had ever freaking talked smack before. Push him into the football next time and then recover the football. Make a football play out of it. How about? I probably run the ball a couple times and see if we pick up some yards. Even though I got Drew Lock. Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Giants, though, I do burn my timeouts. 2nd and 11. Let's see, Milkman. I just remember after this week, the Bears have both first and second pick in next year's draft. Yes, because if they pick Caleb, what are they going to do with the second? And Fields, I know, is still early but to say. What they're going to do with the second is trade it for another haul's worth of picks for somebody who wants Drake May, is exactly what they're going to do. And then they're going to try to put weapons around Caleb Williams. Like, they're in a great spot with that Panthers move. And he goes out of bounds. Unbelievable. You're live now if you're the Giants. Unbelievable. All right, so now you got one timeout in 43 seconds. You probably get a timeout in here with 37, 38. And then you're going to punt it from inside your own 10. Like you could definitely end up with a field goal here if you're the Giants. Run the ball again. Timeout. 37. Okay, so you'll get the ball back with about 30 seconds left and no timeouts. Unbelievable. So, I mean, if the punt is really short, I'm telling my guy just to fair catch it and save time. But if it's a deep punt, then see if you can get a return on it. 38 seconds. They added a second. So 38 seconds. You can definitely get in field goal range now. Oh, did you take a penalty there? Unbelievable. 2 bonehead plays in a row. What the hell are you doing? 23. Come on, man. Even the 5-yard version, it was 4th and 4. You bonehead. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Damn, that is crazy. All right, I mean, you probably kneel out the half here, right? If you're the Seahawks, it's gonna be first down, but at the 25-yard line, got one timeout. Probably kneel it out here. Well, they're in the formation. So, run it, see if you break it. I don't hate that. Second and 5. Just keep running it. See if you bust one. I mean, I guess, right? Why not? Well, the answer to why not is because if you fumble the ball here. I don't think he's trying to stay in bounds now. So Troy Aikman's talking about, oh, somebody told us to go to stay in bounds. That was true on the first one for sure. But now I don't think that's necessarily true. They're going to take their timeout, yeah. Yeah, Troy, they're not trying to run out the half, buddy. The guy in the Lucha Libre mask. Oh, my God. Giants fans looking like they're having a tough night. As apparently is Troy Aikman. Not feeling it. Thank you to everybody who has jumped in to do this Monday Night Football watch along. Know that you can give me a follow on social media, and I would be greatly appreciative of it. Likes, subscribes, follows, all great on the stream here as well, so appreciate that. Finally, we're headed to halftime. Man, that was a drag, but that's how it is sometimes. Appreciate y'all hanging out. We still have like half the NFL games from last week yesterday to go over. I guess that's technically last week. Still have a whole bunch of games to go over. We'll keep talking NFL, and of course, do more of the watch along, which always gets more intense as we get further into the game, no doubt. So, appreciate everybody for jumping in. If you got any bets, let me know about them. I have the Giants on the money line and a parlay, which is Kenneth Walker to score, which he has. Matt Breida, 40 yards rushing, which I don't think he's anywhere close to. And Daniel Jones, 225 yards rushing and passing. So those are my bets that I have on the game. Feel free to let me know yours. And we will take a commercial break here for the halftime show. But as you all know, we will be back for the second half in plenty of time. So go get yourself a drink, take a trip to the bathroom, get yourself some food, and we'll see you in a couple minutes, all right? All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back in. Hope you had a nice little halftime break there. Let's see what the in-game lines are for this game right now. Probably nothing that I want. Giants plus 8.5. Seahawks minus 8.5, and it is juiced to get you to bet on the Seahawks. Interesting. Money line is Seahawks minus 500, Giants plus 350. I kind of want to take the Giants in a touchdown. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Giants into touchdown. Man, this feels stupid. Somebody tell me not to do it. Giants plus 7.5 is even money right now. Somebody tell me not to do it. Somebody get in the chat and tell me not to do it. Here's my thought process. It's a full touchdown, which is nice. I think that the second half of the Cardinals game, Brian Daboll took over play calling, and they scored a bunch of points. Do I think they come back and win? I'm not so sure about that. And my bet right now is on them money line. But if I take the 7.5 and the game gets close, I can build a nice middle for myself if the Giants do make a comeback. But I need somebody in the chat. Someone's got to help me here. I have a bonus bet. Interesting. I'm going to use the bonus bet. That makes it even more likely that I do that. Boom. Place bonus bet. Happened. You guys didn't get in fast enough to talk me out of it. Though you probably should have. Want to remind everybody that I do the NFL pregame betting show with my boy Sturls Sunday mornings. We hit it at 9 o'clock Mountain, 11 o'clock Eastern, and we go over every game of the day, and I bet them right there in front of you. Now, the first week we did this, for me, was much better than last week. But so first week I went 11-3-1. This week I went 4-7-1. So my overall record is 15-10-2. So not too bad. But yeah, join me and Sturls, and you can listen to us talk about the games, debate them a little bit, and let you know what we like, who we're picking. I will also do these watch-alongs for Monday night and Thursday night football throughout the year. The Thursday night football game is available for free on Prime. If you don't have anywhere to watch it, you can watch it there. And then I've been doing CU games and a couple primetime college football games as well. Love doing the watch-alongs with you guys. Love you guys talking smack. Love you guys going back and forth, telling me your bets, all that good stuff. So always feel free to bring those. Love that. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. The subscribes are really big for me right now. I got to get those up to keep my streaming status. So I appreciate all the subscribers that I got. Shout out to my boy Reese Cups. He was in earlier and dropped a subscribe on me. So appreciate him for doing that. You guys, please jump in and subscribe. Got some emojis for you, and working on driving subscriptions so I can start to give stuff away on the stream. So excited about that. What else we got going on? I'm not filling in, at least that I know of, anytime this week on the radio, but you can always follow me at Rob T Radio, and I'll tell you when I am filling in on air. I do sports talk radio here in Denver for the Avs and the Nuggets station, Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. So if you are interested, you can keep up to date there. All right, kicking off the second half. Seahawks get the ball to start. Daves wouldn't even answer questions. Don't be a D-bag, Daves. You're my guy. Geno Smith back under center? Geno Smith back under center. Second and 5. Yeah, I mean, if you're the Giants, you need the defense to make some plays, no doubt. But you definitely need to get a stop if you want to talk about winning this game. I don't feel like the Seahawks have been great. And the Giants moved the ball, especially that first drive. Came away with nothing but Gabs. Drew Lock just got in just to put Broncos Twitter to flames. Yes, you're 100% right. And threw a touchdown pass, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, that Kenneth Walker ran it in. That touchdown got called back. But yes, Drew Lock to Noah Fant was just to anger all the Bronco fans. We got a holding call on the Seahawks? What's happening here? Ineligible man downfield. Interesting. So 2nd and 10 now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's way downfield. So many good wide receivers for the Seahawks, and they just don't get them the ball at all. Lockett with a catch there. 3rd and 1. We're going to get Milkman's favorite play. Tush push. By the way, Milkman, if you're still here, I haven't heard you give Diggs any flowers. You were awful quiet when I said that. Oh. Gain of 23 on 3rd and 1. I'm surprised they didn't get 15 more on that, to be honest. Oh, okay, late flag. There you go. Wow. Geno got a flag. Yeah, I thought he was going to get a late hit for throwing him out of bounds. So 1st and 10 from the 45. Interesting. Walker just running people over. What is happening to this Giants defense, man? Arm tackle, arm tackle. Arm tackle. Yeah. Hit that hole hard. Oh, and I immediately regret my decision. But, here we are. All right. What's our next game to talk about here? Oh, Vikings and Panthers. Maybe we wait to talk about it. You knew there was no way the Vikings would go to 0-4, and it looked like maybe they should have. Playing the 0-3 Panthers. Finally a tackle. See if that wakes the Giants up a little bit there. I mentioned this, and the Broncos got it yesterday, but I mentioned this when the Broncos had been struggling as we've gone along. You just need a guy to make a play, right? Like, you just need somebody to be a dude. And that person makes a play, gets everybody a little juiced up, another person makes a play, and all of a sudden you start turning the momentum. Not that, I guess belief is really the word that I want to use there more than momentum. But so nice play from the Giants linebacker. Let's see if that can be the start of something here. 3rd and 2. Block it with a catch for 9 yards. Big 3rd down here. Try to hold them to just a field goal. Nice play by the Giants D-line. Nice play. All right, so you hold them to 3. Can you get down the field and score? Can you start moving the ball on offense again? Gabs, I had Frank Reich for 4 seasons and a half. He's not good. Panthers made a mistake going with him. Panthers fans are already tired of him after 4 weeks. Yeah, I mean, I'm partial to Frank Reich as a Bills guy. Oh, are they going for this? They're going for it. Boot. And he dropped it. Unbelievable. Huge stop for the Giants, but we got to see what this flag is. Huge stop for the G-men. All right, so you had a good play from a linebacker. You get a stop on 4th down. Can you feel it a little bit here? Gabs, yeah. Listen, I'm partial to Frank Reich because he was a quarterback with the Bills. You can say that you're tired of him. He won 11 games with you 1 year. You guys were in the playoff hunt, right? Like, the last year was a disaster, but come on, Gabs. Really? You feel like he was that bad of a coach? Now, as far as the Panthers go, there's a reason that they were as bad as they were last year. Trade up, they get Bryce Young. It's going to take some time. That roster is devoid of talent. So I don't expect Frank Reich to do a whole lot this year, and I don't think the Panthers expect Frank Reich to do a whole lot this year. What you want to see is Bryce Young start to figure it out, and we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see what they have. I think the Vikings got very lucky. They had that defensive touchdown. Looked like to me, and again, just from the outside, I haven't watched this game yet either in full, but just from the outside, looked like to me that the Vikings did not necessarily deserve to win that game, but did. because neither did the Panthers. Let's put it that way. Neither of those teams looked like they deserved to win that game. So Vikings get off the schneid, but Gabs, yes, he's a good guy too, but never held anybody accountable and tried too much to outsmart everybody. Well, it's part of the game, right? I think it's hard. We'll see how you finally have a quarterback in Bryce Young, right? So we'll see what it looks like when he. I guess you can't say you have a quarterback in Bryce Young. He might be terrible, but I think the Colts kept trying to put Band-Aids on the quarterback position, and it's hard to have a new quarterback, new leader, somebody learning the offense every year. You know what I mean? That's tough to do. All right, Giants ball on the 15, 16-yard line? You got to put something together here. If you are the Giants, even if it's 3 points, you got to put something together here. Wow, I've never seen somebody work so hard to get back to the line of scrimmage. All right, so 3rd and 7? Yeah. Yeah, the Giants' offensive line is really struggling. Oh, my God. 6 sacks. Good gracious. Come on, Daves, put this thing together, man. Yeah, I was going to say huge punt, but you weren't ready to cover it. So now they get the ball at the 50. Let's see. Texans, Steelers. Man, the Steelers. I want to talk about bad coaches. Let's talk about Matt Canada. Jeez, the Seahawks are going to start with the ball on the 40. Yeah, the Steelers to me are a little bit of a disaster. I got to be completely honest. Tough for them to lose Pickett, but he hasn't played well anyway, so maybe Trubisky comes in and actually is better than him. That defense is good and just wasting away. I mean, you're just burning good years of a good defense because you can't figure out what to do on offense, and you keep sticking with guys like Matt Canada. This is what I have to say about the Steelers. Boop. I feel like it's getting uglier and uglier as you go on. For me, I'm excited about the Texans. Do they have a guy with C.J. Stroud? Looks like he's figuring it out. Love that. Love to see young guys come in and succeed. I like D'Amico Ryans too, so, that team could be fun here in the next couple years. They've got a bunch of good weapons. I like Nico Collins. I'm forgetting their running back's name right now. They got Singletary down there too. I really like a lot of the things about the Texans, and it's a division that's the Jaguars were supposed to take hold of, and they have not done it. So how much fun would C.J. Stroud and the Texans jumping up and being really good be? I would love it. Milkman says fire Canada, and if not, fire Mike. Like, they trust their head coach so much he's going to end up hurting them in the end. It's time for a change in leadership. I understand. I don't think Tomlin gets fired. I wouldn't fire him. But I think Canada does have to go. You're saying if he doesn't agree and won't let Canada go. I get that. I think he will after this. I mean, it's hard not to imagine. Oh, are we still on here? We are still on. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that Mike gives him another year after this. If he's willing to put his job on the line for it, I would be shocked. But Gabs, I wouldn't. You wouldn't what? Like to see the Texans do well? I know you wouldn't. But come on, how much fun can this division be in the next couple of years here? If CJ works out, you're saying you think you got a guy in Anthony Richardson. Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. Who am I forgetting? Colts, Texans. Oh, Titans are always just there. So annoying. Titans are the only one I don't think is fun. But the other three teams, man, with three young quarterbacks, like that division can be a ton of fun. Giants defense waking up a little bit. Make some plays, boys. Really, you remember that time they blew like the only chance they had at a Super Bowl with Ben when they went 11-3 and lost to the Browns in the playoffs. Whose fault was that? It was Mike. No, I disagree with you. I think Ben was washed up at the time. I think it was crazy that they won as many games as they won in that regular season. I don't think they should have. Ben was throwing 5-yard passes, and they had so much talent at wide receiver that they were turning them into touchdowns. I think everybody that year thought they were a paper tiger, and I think it showed. It was the same as like the Titans starting 7-0. What was that, 2 years ago? Like, it was just a red herring, man. I think everybody for the most part believed that it was kind of BS that they had won that many games in a row. And you kind of just said to yourself, well, if they've won that many games in a row, I guess I have to give them the benefit of the doubt. And we started to give them the benefit of the doubt, and then the Browns went in there and smacked them. So I still think that did he miss that field goal? He sure did. They are giving you all kinds of chances to hang around, Giants. You just got to go score some freaking points, man. Like, you are in this game. There's at least 6 points they've given away on the last 2 drives. Brutal. So, yeah, I mean, listen, if you want to put that on Mike Tomlin, you can. I still put that on the offense. Defense wasn't good that game either, but there was some crazy stuff that happened in that game. Listen, I don't think Mike Tomlin's never had a losing record, dude. Like, if you're just saying you need a change of leadership to have a change of leadership, if you believe that, then that's fine. You know that's not how the Steelers think. I've had 3 coaches in 70 years. So the Steelers are not sitting there saying to themselves, oh, we need to make a change to make a change. And if Mike Tomlin gets fired, he's going to have a job in 15 minutes. So I think it would be a big mistake. I do think you need to tell him he needs to hire a new offensive coordinator, and I think he knows he needs to hire a new offensive coordinator. But, yeah, I disagree with you in terms of whose fault that was and if he should get fired for that. You're going through a transition of trying to find your next quarterback. It's not always easy. I don't know if Kenny Pickett is that guy. I tend to think he's not, but He's still young, still early. I can tell you this: I do not think the offensive coordinator is helping him. So you got to decide what you want to do about that if you're the Steelers. But I am excited about Houston. I hope C.J. Stroud is actually good. Sorry, Gabs. I do hope C.J. Stroud is actually good. I hope Anthony Richardson's good too, if that helps. But yeah, I would just love for that division to have 3 real good quarterbacks in it and actually be fun every year instead of being the nightmare that the AFC South has been for so many years. There's a lot of times where I was like, ugh, I have to watch an AFC South game tonight. I would love for that to finally be fun again. Let's see. Chargers and the Raiders. Chargers are just like they should be so much better than they are. It's crazy. That one I think you can blame on the head coach if you want. Cuz I don't know, man. Man, this Giants offense. Witherspoon is good, but like do something, man. Jeez. And I know you don't have Saquon Barkley, but you were moving the ball to start the game. Like, let's go. Yeah. Face mask there. Going to pick up a first down on it. And now you're into their territory. You got to get points here. Oh, next week's Monday Night Football game is Raiders-Packers. Really? You going to do that to me? Speaking of the Raiders. From what I watched, O'Connell looked good enough. But the story was more the Chargers not being who we thought they were rather than the Raiders doing anything. Oh, that looked dangerous. Worried about Herbert's finger. I think they've got a bye this week, is what I heard Adam Schefter say. So if he needs to have like a small surgery on it or something like that, they can probably do that. So yeah, worried about Herbert's finger. I know it's his offhand, but it's just, if you're sitting there thinking about it, ball control, ball handling, all that kind of stuff, worried about it. Khalil Mack's still a beast. Love that. Love Khalil Mack, so it's good to see him getting some stats, being a dude, being that guy still. Milkman, okay, if the Steelers end up last in their division and no team playoff, I assume you mean they don't make the playoffs, would you consider firing Mike? One, it would depend how it looks, and two, would I consider it? Sure. Are we talking about they're going 2-15, or are they 7-10 or 8-9 and don't make the playoffs? Yeah, depends how it looks. I can tell you that I'm going to think I would fire Mike Tomlin long before the Steelers think they would fire Mike Tomlin. And I'm not anywhere close to thinking that that's what needs to happen right now. Again, you are trying to find your next quarterback. It is going to be a tough process, especially when you don't have seasons often, when you win 2 games. Trying to get up high enough to get that guy, to get that quarterback is tough, man. It's hard to do. This is the problem that the Broncos had. It's exactly why the Broncos are where they are 9 years later. It's still not making the playoffs after Manning retires. It is tough to find that quarterback unless you're at the top of the draft. And if you don't get to the top of the draft because your record is terrible, it's hard to get up high enough to get a guy. It's one of the things that I think Brandon Beane deserves the most credit for the Bills and what they did drafting Josh Allen. They got all the way up to 7. They were in the playoffs that year. Now, they had multiple first-round picks, ended up not giving away their second one. That's what they drafted Tremaine Edmonds with. But they worked the draft board, kept moving up, trading away different pieces to keep moving up, and got all the way up to number 7 and drafted Josh Allen. And sure, some of that is the crapshoot of getting the pick right, and you're not necessarily always going to get that right. But I think they deserve a lot of credit for getting up as high as they did, trying to get one of those guys, especially one that they liked as much as they liked Allen. 4th and 1 and a timeout by the Giants? Shut up. What a waste. I hate when teams do that. You're down by 11 points. Keep your freaking timeouts, man. Kenny is hurt right now, so the QB really isn't the issue. It's the offensive coordinator. Oh, no doubt. Absolutely, I agree with you. I think Matt Canada is the issue. Kenny got hurt in that last game, granted, but man, what is wrong with this thing right now? I agree with you that Matt Canada is the issue, not Kenny Pickett. But I'm just saying going through trying to find your quarterback is difficult. It's hard to do. And I don't know if Kenny Pickett is that guy or not. Okay, 4th and 1 for me here. Escapes. Pick up the yards with your legs. There you go. First down. Get a little hype. Come on. Yeah, Pete's feeling his guys, saying, how are we not up by more in this game? And now, looks like they can score and really cut into this lead here. Come on now, Giants, punch this in. This is big. No, they showed a camera shot of Saquon Barkley because this is where you wish you had Saquon Barkley, is what you wish. 2nd and goal from the 5-minute 20 left in the third quarter for me. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Shut the front door. Gabs. Unbelievable. Witherspoon with a pick 6 and just stab it right into the heart of Giants fans. People going to start filing out after that, and they still got a shot. Like, the game's not over, but people going to start hitting the exits. I mean, but he threw it right to him. Who are you throwing the ball to? Give me the all-22, please. Give me that sky cam look. I got to see what he was seeing. Unbelievable. You packing it in, Gabs? Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you as always. Fun watching the games with you. Daves is pissed. Is he going to bench Daniel Jones? Unbelievable. What a turn of events. And also, this is happening to me right now. Lighting my money on fire. Damn. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see what's next. Milkman, your Cowboys are next. Cowboys Patriots. What a game from the Cowboys. Dominated the whole time. It felt like. I don't think the Patriots are very good. There are people who think that the Patriots are very good. I don't understand that. So, Cowboys did what I think the Cowboys were supposed to do, and love to see that from them. You know what I mean? You want them. I want some good teams in the NFC. It felt like it was just Eagles, Giants, or Eagles, Niners. So I'd love to see the Cowboys come up and give us a couple real tough playoff games out of the NFC. I thought you were a Cowboys fan, Milkman. Sorry, had that mixed up. Well, yeah, I thought the Niners and the Eagles were the only good teams in the NFC, like actually really good teams. So it's good to see the Cowboys playing well. I hate the Cowboys, but I like good football. So good to see the Cowboys playing well. I want that NFC to get a little bit tougher. You know what I mean? I want that road to be tough. All right, let's look at this all 22. Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, it looks like a miscommunication on the route, but that's just a terrible throw by Daniel Jones. You can't do that on the goal line. Let's see. I think since Patrick got drafted by the Chiefs, every other team has been trying to find the next diamond because they are looking at a scrambler and accuracy, not toughness and awareness. And that is what I think is hurting QBs that come out of college. Interesting theory. Yeah, I mean, listen, every coach is looking for the guy who can make plays off schedule. But that is toughness and awareness is making plays off schedule. You know what I mean? But yeah, trying to find the next diamond in the rough, I think, is right. I don't know. I don't know what you can do about it because you've got to find that guy. You got to find that dude. You know. Hey, we sent them home twice in the playoffs and one time on their home field. So, Cowboys, yeah, man. Listen, Niners have owned them recently, and I think that's going to be a really fun game Sunday night. I don't know what the line is, but I am probably picking the Niners and laying however many points they make me lay, because I just, yeah, I think the Niners are that good. Damn. Just crazy. All right, I'm going to take the quarter break with them. I'm just getting to the quarter break now. So I'm going to take the quarter break with them. We'll finish up talking about the last couple NFL games and then watch the end of this one. Stick around. Welcome back. Not quite everybody. All right, welcome back, everybody. I really think that Dave's might bench Daniel Jones here soon. Fourth and 5, going for it here. Kind of have to. There you go. All right, pick up the first down. Oof. It's going to be a holding call, right? Yeah. But talking about two QBs that come out of college, Kenny is hurt. Zach is a bust. Zach may be a bust. No one really knows yet. Bryce is hurt. Trey ended up getting traded and probably won't see the field anytime soon. Mac may get benched soon if he continues to play like he's doing. Anthony also hurt. Will sucks from what I heard. Will. Riddle is awful, Ritter. And CJ is really the only good one besides Purdy. Yeah, man, listen, picking players in the NFL is an inexact science. Picking quarterback in the NFL is hard. It's really hard. Now, this is the argument I try to make, especially here in Broncos country, because people are talking about drafting a quarterback really high. The percentage of quarterbacks that hit in the later rounds is so infinitesimally small. Yes, you have guys like Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy. But compared to the number of quarterbacks selected in rounds 2 through 7, the number of them that are actually good is so small compared to the hit rate on quarterbacks that you pick in the top 10 or 15. It's not a good hit rate, right? It's 5, 10, 15%. That's the hit rate on quarterbacks that you pick super high. But it's higher than if you pick them somewhere else. And if you think to yourself, I don't want to waste the top pick on a guy like that because it's a crapshoot and I don't know what I'm going to get, then you better pick a quarterback in the 2nd round, the 3rd round, the 4th round, the 5th round, the 6th round, and the 7th round every year until you find a guy. Because it's the only way the numbers work out. Like, it's the only way you're going to find that guy if you're not picking in the top 15. So to your list here, yeah, there's a lot of quarterbacks who miss. Kenny's a late 1st round pick. Zach's a top pick. Bryce is hurt, but I'm not worried about it. He'll be fine. He played this week. Trey ended up getting traded. You can argue he's a bust, but he's a top pick. Mac is down towards the middle of the draft. So I think he's still in the top 15, but it's interesting to see where he falls on that line. Anthony Richardson, yeah, had a concussion, but again, I think he's a dude. Why do I not know who you're referencing when you say Will? Ritter is not a top pick, right? And then, yeah, CJ looks like he could be a dude. Man, Giants are just getting overrun right now. You just never know what you're going to get. It's a crapshoot, but you want to end up at the top because the hit rate at least exists up there. All right, what's our next game to talk about here? Oh, now we're talking about your team, Milkman. Cardinals-Niners. Listen, I know the story for everybody is about the Niners and how good they are, and they are. They deserve it. But M12:30 in the fourth quarter. Third down for the Giants, by the way. So you know where I'm at. I think the story out of that game is the Cardinals. Like I don't know. I mean, they fight, dude. I'm shocked. I'm shocked how well they play. 3rd and 22, Jesus. Oh boy, he's gonna get, yeah. Could have been a way bigger hit. I mean, man, that left tackle getting beat like a drum. 8 sacks on the night. For a guy that has some escapability. Unbelievable. Yeah, Troy Aikman just said this is crazy. Yeah, I agree. Damn. Okay, Milkman. So my theory is if QB don't produce in their first 3 years, they'll either end up getting benched or traded. It might end up being like running back situation that the NFL is having right now. I'm talking about Will Levis. Oh, Will Levis? Again, not a top pick, though. You know what I mean? So those guys are just different. The expectations of them are different than if you pick a guy at the top of the draft. I would be shocked if quarterback position ends up going like the running back position does. The running back position is like that because there is an excess amount of talent there. You can sign a guy like Dalvin Cook a couple games into the season. Quarterback, there is not an excess of talent there. Let's just put it that way. There's probably 5 teams that absolutely love their quarterback and have their guy. There's probably another 5 teams who are okay with their quarterback situation. And then everybody else is hope, right? You're either hoping a guy's going to be better than he's been in the past. Your scheme's going to fit a guy better, so he's going to be better. You've got a young guy that you want to try out. Everybody outside of those 10 teams is hope. And trust me, I mean, my boys were in that situation for a long time. It's good to be in that top 5. It's good to be in that top 5. So I don't think it ever turns into the running back situation because the best of the best are always going to make a difference on the field. But it'll be interesting to watch what happens because what you're seeing is a lot of these big contracts getting handed out to guys like Kyler and Daniel Jones, and that's a problem. So yeah, that Niners-Cardinals game, listen, Christian McCaffrey's a freak. The Niners' offensive line is really good. Brock Purdy is just good enough. Their weapons are awesome. Kyle Shanahan is a wizard. Their defense is very good. And my biggest takeaway from that game is that the Cardinals are tough, dude. Give them credit. Everybody thought that they were done, that they were going to tank the year and all that. And those players have come out and played tough. Like, they deserve a lot of credit. So that's my biggest takeaway from that game, and the only reason that's my biggest takeaway from that game is because we all knew how good the Niners were. It's not a shock to anybody. And then our last game to talk about, Chiefs and Jets. I think Zach Wilson gained some confidence. That last fumble, notwithstanding, it's tough. And he's going to feel that part of it. But so yeah, Zach Wilson, I feel like gained a little bit of confidence. Defense is good. I I think my biggest takeaway from that game is that their offense, that Chief offense, still trying to figure it out, man. They do not have answers right now. And that's very interesting to me. We'll see. I trust Reed. I trust Mahomes. And so you feel like they're going to get it figured out at some point. But their defense is really good, and the offense is just struggling. I don't think the Jets have enough in the tank to get back into it in terms of the AFC East. That might change if they trade for a quarterback. If they have enough in the tank to get into the wild card race, is a different thing. I just feel like the wild card is going to refs help the Jets in the end because Taylor was there and didn't want the Chiefs to look bad in front of her. So please, Bills, beat the shit out of them. Out of who? The Jets or the Chiefs? I don't think the refs cared that Taylor Swift was there. You think the refs helped the Chiefs, you're saying? Yeah, man, listen, I would love to say that I think the Chiefs have fallen off a lot. I don't think that's the case. I think they figure it out. But I did mention earlier when we were talking about the Bills, I think you can say that the Bills have a better roster than the Chiefs do, everywhere except one position, and it's the position that matters the most. So, can you make Mahomes look a little bit more human? I think that's a really important thing. Bills have been able to do it in recent years. They beat them twice in Arrowhead. They play in Arrowhead again this year. Stupid. Hate the way the NFL schedule works. But they play at Arrowhead again this year. So it's going to be, I think the Bills defense, if they get there healthy, which now you've lost Trey White, so you're not going to get there healthy, but as healthy as they can, I think the Bills defense is good enough to limit Mahomes. Offense looks better this year. You hope they can chug through a little bit, but we'll have to see. It's going to be, the AFC is going to be super interesting this year, in my opinion. I think the middle of the AFC is fantastic this year. The top of the AFC has been good for a whole bunch of years, and I think the middle is catching up. And I think when you get in the playoffs, I think you might see a few upsets in that first round. Because you could have a team like the Bengals going on the road because they're a wild card team. I feel like the middle of the AFC is way better this year than it has been in years past, and I think you might see some upsets in that first round of the playoffs, and it's going to be a great race to see who makes the playoffs too. AFC has been great all year long. All right, listen, man. I like Daniel Jones is. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but you got to give him more than a half second to throw the football. That offensive line's been getting eaten alive. Ninth sack. Unbelievable. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the Bills go after a free agent corner. They normally hate doing that. If a guy wasn't in camp with them, very rarely do they bring somebody in and I just feel like they don't like doing that at all. So yeah, there's a couple names of free agent corners, and then a couple names of corners who might be on the trade block. Levi Wallace is a guy who played for the Bills, knows that system for a whole bunch of years. He's on an expiring deal in Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh keeps falling apart, Patrick Peterson also got brought up, who's also in Pittsburgh, but I don't think they trade him. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, there's a couple guys, and then of course the big swing that people are talking about is, can you talk the Broncos into trading Pat Surtain? If you do, I would throw a party. So yeah, the cornerbacks that are good that are on bad teams, there's a couple very young ones that are really good that haven't gotten paid yet, and then there are a couple like mid-tier veterans that you could look at them trading for. J.C. Horn is another name I like personally in Carolina. He's been out with a hamstring, I think it was, but unbelievable. Another pick from Daniel Jones. Oh, the Giants, it's been ugly. Whew. Yeah, but he actually had time. Like, you gotta go somewhere with the ball, Troy. Yeah, it's the NFL. You have to anticipate that better. So Troy Aikman's making the excuse that, Bobby Wagner is sitting in that zone, and if he rips that ball while Bobby Wagner's there, he's going to make a play on it. Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do in the NFL. You got to anticipate him getting through that into the open window and make that throw. Instead, he waits too long, gets his arm hit while he's waiting, and throws another pick. Brutal. Yeah. Yeah. You had 11 days to fix it for a home game, and this is what it looks like for the Giants. Might be time to sell your Giants stock. They're just ripping apart runs right now. And I like Kenneth Walker, but like this Seahawks offensive line is not that good. By the way, Milkman, before I answer your question, I want you to give some love to Stephon Diggs, who you were all talking smack about. Got real quiet when I brought that up before. Where are the flowers, my man? Let's hear it. I want some love on the chat for Stephon Diggs. Because you were talking mad smack, and then he went for 120 and 3 touchdowns. Own it, baby. Own it. $21-3. Unbelievable. here are your flowers, but in the end, I think he still might get locked down later in the schedule. Listen, man, he's been a top receiver in the NFL for the last 5 years. What makes you think that against better competition that he's going to get locked down? And don't give him to me. I'm not the one that deserves the flowers. You owe Stephon an apology. He's a bad man. And you're sitting there talking like he's not even a number 1 wide receiver, much less top 10, much less top 5, which I think he probably is top 5. Oh, Gino's life just flashed before his eyes. All right, what will the Bills have to give up to get Patrick from Denver in a trade? Well, I mean, definitely a first-round pick. I think probably 2 first-round picks. The things that Denver would want in a trade. I'd say a pass rusher. That's hard to say, though. But if you offered them somebody like Greg Rousseau or A.J. Epinesa, I think they'd love that. But it starts with a first-round pick. You need probably the equivalent of 2 first-round picks and change would be what I would guess to get the Broncos to consider it. The problem is the Bills' first-round picks are going to be super late. So it's going to be at least 2. And you're going to have to put change in there to get it. So if you're just talking picks, I would say probably 2 firsts, a third, and a 5th or 6th is probably what it would take. And I don't think the Bills would give that up. If you're talking about players, plus Diggs isn't even 99 rated in Madden, so no, I don't think he's that good. Okay, a couple things. 1, if you're basing your evaluation on NFL players off Madden ratings, yikes, man. 2, there's like 10 guys who are 99s. I don't even think Devontae Adams is a 99. Or Justin Jefferson is a 99. So, silly thing to say. I think he's probably a top 5 receiver in the league. I definitely think he's a top 10 receiver in the league. And he went for 120 and 3 touchdowns. So, you can take that, shove it in your Madden. In terms of players, I think they would say maybe a depth offensive lineman. So the Bills have an offensive lineman who had been starting for them, who hasn't started this year as a backup, Ryan Bates. He started for them last year. He's a starting quality offensive lineman. So if you were the Bills trying to convince them to do this, you can give them maybe a pick, Ryan Bates, Greg Rousseau, and change picks, right? Like a couple 5ths, couple 6s. Yeah, how did that go when they signed free agent offensive linemen this last year? How'd that work out for them, Milkman? He's like the first 99 wideout on Madden right now, but the Broncos... Are you talking about Devontae Adams? Is he a 99? Let's find out. Madden 99 Club. Let's see. See who's in it. Justin Jefferson. Yeah, Justin Jefferson's a 99. You got it. Found it at the same time. Tyreek Hill, also a 99. I think that's fair. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 99s. 6 99s. Okay. All right. All right. So Jefferson, Tyreek Hill. Let's find all the wide receivers on here. Devontae Adams is a 97. Cooper Kupp is a 96. So that's 4. Stephon Diggs, 96. Number 5 on the list. And you said he wasn't a top 10 wide receiver? By your Madden rankings? Jamar Chase after him with a 94. Drops 2 points behind him. Still searching for the next one. Terry McLaurin is a 93. CeeDee Lamb is a 92. A.J. Brown's a 91. Mike Evans is a 91. Mari Cooper is a 90. Yeah. Get out of here with he's not top 10, Milkman. You're just trolling. And not really good with the Broncos. Yeah. I mean, signing the free agent offensive lineman has not worked out. So having an option to put in there, yeah, I think they would be interested in a guy like Ryan Bates rather than a late round pick. You would put a guy like Rousseau in there to make up for the other first round pick, right? But I think you need the equivalent of 2 first round picks and change. So Ryan Bates would replace the 3rd round pick. Greg Rousseau would replace the 1st round pick. And so you would do a 1st, Rousseau, Bates, and like a 6th or a 7th. Maybe 2 of them if they needed. For Pat Surtain. It would be a huge deal. I don't think the Bills will do it. I don't think they give up that much draft capital. I think they should if the Broncos will listen. But Surtain might be the only untouchable player on that roster. So it would be very interesting. It might be something that I bring up on the radio next time I'm on a show, is what you would take for Pat Surtain to Broncos country, because I would love to hear what they would be accepting of, what would be acceptable to them. Cowboys Niners next Sunday. They are previewing it on Monday Night Football. Should be fun. No, you have Jerry, really. What do you mean? Yeah, the only game Purdy has lost is when he popped his elbow. What's our Thursday night game this week? Yeah, but why are you bringing up Jerry Jeudy? I don't understand why you're saying no. You have Jerry, really, and I don't know why you're saying that. Greg Rousseau's a defensive end, and Ryan Bates is a lineman. So that's why I think the Broncos would make that trade to try to improve their trenches, and then throw a first-round pick in there. And I think that's the only way you get a guy like Surtain. And I think that is a high price to pay for a non-quarterback. So I think the Bills wouldn't do it. Our Thursday night football game is Bears Commanders. Thank goodness, because I was afraid that I was going to enjoy watching Thursday night football. Brutal. That is a brutal game to have on Thursday night football this week. Because you said Patrick is untouchable, but you're talking is the only untouchable player, but you're talking about overall. But defense, yeah, you're right. Jerry Jeudy is not untouchable. Are you saying that you think Jerry Jeudy's untouchable? Get out. Oh my God. They would trade him in a heartbeat. Not even close to untouchable. And Broncos country themselves, like the fans, would be even more happy to get rid of him. Not even a little bit. Yeah, no, Pat Surtain is the only guy who is untouchable on that roster. Jerry Jeudy, you can get something for, right? He's probably one of the few assets that's actually worth draft picks. So Jerry Jeudy, you could still turn into assets. What I heard was that they were looking for a first-round pick in the offseason for him and didn't get any offers like that, and that doesn't surprise me. But if you get a second or maybe a couple thirds, you could probably pry him away. But yeah, he's one of the few assets that's actually worth something. Sutton, maybe a day 2 pick. Javonte is worth something if you want to trade him, but they probably don't want to do that. You could probably get something for your offensive lineman. Garrett Bowles, you could probably get something for. Hard to trade McGlinchey or Powers because you just paid him. Cushenberry probably don't get anything for. Minich probably don't get anything for. You might be able to talk somebody into giving you something if they need a pass rusher real bad for Jonathan Cooper or Nick Benito. You could probably get some assets for that. But I don't think either of them get your first-round picks. So, yeah, that Broncos roster, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I don't think George Payton's going to be around to use all those draft picks. So if he starts trading guys away, that'd be really interesting. It's probably Sean Payton making those decisions, not George Payton, because I think George Payton's going to get fired before those picks come up. We kneeling this out, fellas? What are we doing here? Oh, no, it's 4th down. You got to run a play. Hey, bust a Matt Breida run for me. How about? Would be great. I think that's the only thing in my parlay I haven't hit yet. So, if you want to do that, that's fine with me. Daniel Jones didn't even get 225 yards. Well, that's passing. Oh, yeah, he's got it with rushing. Yeah, give Matt Breida the ball a couple times for Rob here. No, not even in the game. Brutal. Yeah, getting ugly in New York for sure. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out, checking in. I am going to raid you guys out, so while you're over there, be friendly, be courteous. Let them know. We will be back Thursday night for the Thursday night football game, Bears and Commanders. But don't come for that. Come for the football game. Let's see. Last question from Milkman. Okay, but what if Russell gets benched and we see Stidham ball out? Would you trade Russell to like the Patriots or what? I thought it would be really funny if he got traded to the Jets, to be honest with you. Listen, trading him is going to be tough with that contract. He's got a whole bunch of years on there for a whole bunch of money. So trading Russell Wilson is going to be difficult. I don't think anybody really is going to be looking to trade for him. Patriots are an interesting destination, but I think they probably don't do too well to trade him. So, all right, let's raid you out. Like I said, we will be back Thursday night for Thursday Night Football. Of course, as always, we do our Sunday NFL pregame show, so feel free to come back for that. And appreciate everybody tuning in today. Hope you guys have a wonderful night.